fresh in his mind. Maybe one day he can, and he doesn't need to be reminded.
Right.
You know, it's kind of more for people who aren't addicted to kind of show, like, hey, you know, he's not doing it because he's going out and partying all night and wild, crazy times. You know, he's
the physical addiction.
Yeah, he's doing it to keep from getting that sick again and feeling that low and all those pains. And, you know, once you have it, it's, you know, it's like a pick me up, like, hey, all right, back at it, you know. And
doesn't end well.
No, it never does. And, you know, it also shows aside from the, you know, the family and, you know, what they go through and how they're struggling. And then, you know, when the guy tries to go to rehab and they tell him, nope, we got nothing for you. It's like, but I need help. And they're like, yeah, well, we can't give it because you don't have the right insurance. So. And
that piece is real.
Yeah, that happens more than you could ever imagine. And that's a shame, you know, and you wish every treatment center had like a backup plan or something. And a lot of times maybe they do like, hey, you can go here or you can switch your insurance. I know that happened to me one time. And instead of turning me away, they just said, okay, well, we're just going to switch it over for you. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. I don't know how easy that is to do. I mean, otherwise it seems like they would do it more often, or I don't know what circumstances I was in at that time. Maybe it was just first signing up. I don't remember exactly, but it was nice to have that kind of taken care of and not just be thrown out on the street. But I think that time I went in with the whole game. Well, it's not a game, but you have to say the right things. And with the place that they put me at, you know, it was like kind of like on suicide watch. So and that's why you kind of have to say some of the things you do to get into treatment. Otherwise, they will throw you out of the ER and they won't allow you in. You know, they will just throw you out on the street. And if there's certain things you say, they're not going to throw you out on the street, which unfortunately that kind of has to be done. And, you know, and not to take away from anybody who's serious about that. And there were times where I really wanted to just not wake up anymore. You know, I don't know if I wouldn't say I 100% wanted to die. I didn't want to be in that moment anymore.
Yeah. I think that's a common feeling. You know, not necessarily wanting to take your own life, but just feeling like it's too hard. And really, like, for me, it was, I didn't necessarily want to die. I didn't want to kill myself, but I didn't want to live anymore. How I was. And I don't know if you want to pick those apart and, you know, say they're the same thing or not. But, yeah, I mean, just disaster and despair, and it was all so real and so awful. So, I mean, I feel for people that are in that spot, and just to know that, you know, there is help out there and there is a way you can find yourself again. You know, you just got to go through the steps and do the work to get there. And there's people out there that care, and people out there that are rooting for you and will stand by you. You just got to kind of make that decision to do it. That's what I had to do for myself, decided that for myself that I was going to do it for myself. That's the only way that I got to where I'm at today.
And you're talking about just being sober.
Yeah, I'm talking about, making the decision to go to rehab, following through with what I said I was going to do, you know, building my life to be able to stay, have the most possible circumstances surrounding me, you know, to be sober every day, wake up sober and go to bed sober, you know, and yeah, it took a lot of work, and every day is just, I'm just the same as everybody else, you know, it's just another day for me in recovery, and one day at a time.
What would you say about someone who was thinking about, they're on the fence, you know, let's say a woman is on the fence about going to recovery or going back to work. You know, maybe her work's just opening up and COVID-19's back, and they're thinking, you know, I've been told I have a problem, but I really need to get back to work now. You know, now I can stop drinking so much. And the only reason I was drinking so much was because of COVID and because I had all that extra time and all this extra money. And
Yeah, which there's probably truth to a lot of that. I mean, COVID did not create the best circumstances for someone with an alcohol or addiction, substance abuse addiction, period. It created you know, it basically a platform of opportunity for disaster, free time, and for some people, money. You know, you speak a lot about that, about, you know, the stimulus check and where that ends up going, things like that, and lack of accountability in general, not having to go to your job and not having the, you know, certain things that you're used to having to, you know, complete or go to in a day. They aren't functioning at that time. So therefore, what are you left with? And getting back to what you're saying, if when people go back to work, or if they have decided that, you know, if rehab is something for them that they're considering because someone has pointed out they have a problem, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be on board with going to get help, to enter into treatment. It has to be something that you're willing to put the effort into while you're there. Otherwise, the time isn't effective. At least that was the truth for me. I mean, I was there, I was present, but was I really actually doing the work that it took to get down to, you know, sorting through my feelings and sorting through my, you know, past circumstances and emotions, and really kind of digging down to the real reason why I chose to pick up that bottle. You know, I had to ask myself that. And, you know, you can get off the cuff kind of responses to that. Like, why did I drink? Oh, because, you know, X, Y, or Z, but why it's that? I mean, that's why when people say like 28 days or whatever, that's not a magic number either. At all. It's a ongoing thing. But I mean, rehab's never hurt anybody. I know that for a fact. So if it's something that you're considering that you think that you have an issue with, do not, don't put the idea of treatment on, you know, out of the picture just because you think that I'm not that bad, you know. But once again, you know, nobody wants to be forced in to go into anything. But if you know that your life's been affected by drugs or alcohol and it hasn't been for the better, then there's nothing wrong with coming to terms with that and being surrounded by people that support, you know, you, and there to recognize that alongside with you and help you get the help that you need. So I know that was kind of a long-winded response. I don't even know if I really answered the question, but...
No, you did. And I was thinking, too, if... I'm trying to play it back to where, like, when I was early in my drinking career, because I used to think, well, I drink hard on the weekends because I don't have to work, or if there's a 3-day weekend, you know, I drink hard, well, because, yeah. And if I was on vacation, well, why not? Why wouldn't I be drinking at 9 a.m.? You know, I'm on vacation. This is what it's for. And this, to me, would have turned into a 2-month-long vacation excuse to drink. And there's no way in hell I would be in my right mind going back to work after a 2-month drinking vacation.
No way.
You know, my body would have been physically, you know, and the way I drank was just insane. I mean, that month that I had off in 2014, that December, I had the whole month off. It was insane. It was just, I wouldn't go back to that month for anything. Like, there's no way. You couldn't pay me. If you offered me $1 million to go back and live that month again, I wouldn't do it. It was that miserable and that just emotionally painful. And drinking was right there. And that was just 1 month. So I couldn't imagine 2, you know, in the way that I said. But that was pretty hardcore at the end. But, you know, even at the beginning, though, if I would have had 2 months, all this money, you know, if unemployment coming in, stimulus check,
I know,
covered,
it's a scary thing to think about. I know.
It would not be good. You know, I thank God that I am where I'm at right now, and with the people that I'm with, that I surround myself around. And that's another thing too. And I didn't understand that at first when they told me you have to change everything about your life. And, well, I don't hang out with people that drink. I don't have any friends, 'cause
Yeah.
I drink alone. Well, you have to go make those friends. You have to go places where people aren't drinking. And you have to be social. Like, I just thought, well, none of my friends drink, so, I don't hang out with any. Change who you hang out with. Or I don't hang out with any. Change the places you hang out. I don't hang out anywhere. Well, go hang out somewhere. Go hang out somewhere with people who aren't drinking. Don't stay home by yourself and think that, I'm not hanging out with people who drink. I'm not going places that drink. But here I am sitting in the devil's dungeon, pretty much. My house in Arkansas. Where that's all I did, everything in that house reminded me of drinking.
Right.
And here I am just sitting there, just trying to dodge the ambers of the fire, the embers or whatever they're called. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be okay. I should have been getting my ass out to AA meetings and swallowed some pride a little bit. Like in that movie we watched earlier, that Jack Lemmon character was walking in and the guy was like, well, you nervous? And he's like, no, I'm always a shade of green. And it can get you at first, and you have that pride of no one can know. And that's the stuff that we're going to hopefully change, where you don't have to feel that sense of, woe's me, I'm a bad person because I'm going to AA. No, you're a great person, and you're even better for going to AA, because that shows that you want a better life. You don't get criticized for wanting a better life.
Yeah. How can you say that's a bad thing?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's a wonderful thing, and it should be applauded more. And we're going to that's our mission. We're going to spread hope and inspiration for people, and people in early recovery. It's hard. That's why they call it relapsing, and the slips and the mistakes. It's because it's not an easy road. But if you can have somebody there that, is holding out a hand going, come on, man, get back up, and that could be us. And in my opinion, that's never going to change. We're always going to be needed to help people in early recovery, and people in active addiction kind of look up to us too and go, man, I want that life. Without thinking, oh man, I'm such a bad person. And it's hard, and people aren't going to figure it out until they're ready. And that's never going to change, I don't think, either. But
yeah, well, and it's also too, I think for sure it's a two-way street. I mean, helping other people helps me stay sober, for sure, 100%. I mean, we need people to reach out and help, and then they can help other people. It's it's all beneficial. But just to know, like you were saying, just to know that you have the support, and you're not going to be nobody's going to turn you away, without when you're saying, I need help. There's people that will listen, there's people that will stand by you, and there's people that will support you in your decisions and commend you. So, but I mean, also too, as you were saying, like, I think recovery is so much more, it's not so much about not doing things than doing things, doing things differently. I mean, the not doing things is don't drink. And I know that sounds so simple to just say it like that. Just don't drink. So that's the big don't. But everything else is do. Do make contacts. Do make phone calls. Do reach out. Do start exercising. Do start, whatever, new hobbies. There's so much exciting stuff that's do's that recovery is about, that you start living life again. For real. Like, you actually start figuring out, like, why did I even do that? I ask myself that so much, like, these days. It's like, what did that even do for me? Where did that get me? Absolutely nowhere. I don't need it. And to be able to say that and believe my words, because I've said it before, is amazing.
Yeah, and some of the changes they tell you not to make, and of course everybody's recovery is different, so I don't put it on anybody when they say don't get in relationships, don't do this, don't do that. It depends on where you are in your mind and where you are in your recovery at that time. Like, I've been at it for 4 years. Well, now, it was 4 years when I had my last drink, but now it's going to be a year and a half next month. And the things that I've learned about myself and relationships, the ones that I've gotten into, before a year, I've learned stuff from those, and they were relationships I shouldn't have gotten into, but I had to get into them to be where I'm at now with relationships and with people. I had to learn those things. And, last summer I was seeing this girl, and I